Welcome to the Click, Brand and Beyond podcast. I am Nisha Prakash.
And I am Anoop Kurup.
Let's discuss the campaigns, strategies and tactics that makes marketing effective for small businesses in India.
We bring you the best practices to help you grow your brand and business using the latest tools and trends. Let's get started. So we have a guest with us this time around. Unlike all the times, I know you guys are not bored of listening to me and Nisha speak, but then we thought, variety is the spice of life and so on and so forth. So we got somebody very spicy today.
Oh my
We
God.
have Tridib with us, right? We'll introduce Tridib a little later, and you will understand why he is here and what sort of genius he is. But then today, our focus is going to be slightly different than what we do. We kind of go into LinkedIn and we rant and rave about things. Today, we are going to talk about marketing. Oh, surprise. No, don't. That's what we usually focus on. But this time around, we want to focus on marketing with AI. I mean, it's a new flavor, right? I mean, we speak about it, but then in totality, marketing as a business is changing. All of us, all three of us are from marketing. And it's also impacting how businesses do marketing. So we want to touch upon those things today. So what's the greatest, latest way of doing it? How it impacts from a strategy, from content, from creative, all these perspectives. So over to Tridip. Quick 30-second introduction about you. Let's make it 15 seconds and then we'll extend. Over to you.
Okay, I think you guys all know me, and I have nothing to hide in the LinkedIn. Everything is about me. There, I am a humble marketer, a brand. I take pride in creating brands. And now the new feather in the leaf is that I have started with AI, and almost in everything, I see some of the other opportunities where I can see that how AI can bring the advantage in doing branding, marketing, UX UI design, and so on and so forth. So I am Tridib. I'm been in this industry for the last 3 decades now. Old chap in that way, and been seen being in the field of e-learning, e-commerce, seen the dot-com boom and bust, multimedia boom and bust, spatial effect, animation, everything I have done so far. And what now stands after my stint with RK Swami BBDO, I call myself an advertiser, as well as I love to create brands and marketing collaterals, marketing communications. That is my forte. Yeah, and that's all. And I think 15 seconds is done. Yeah.
It was 45, but nobody's counting. Don't worry. But anyway, let me also add that anything to do with visual medium when it comes to marketing, Trideep and his team are the masters. So I really look up to what Trideep does,
Thank you so much.
and I also look forward to those posts that Trideep puts out on his LinkedIn, which is usually filled with a new form of AI art. He's testing
All the
something,
time.
he's testing a
Yeah,
new
yeah.
tool or a new way of prompting, or even sometimes mixing and matching various types of inspirations. And sometimes it's very pleasant, sometimes it's quite shocking, sometimes it's just blows your mind up because
Sorry.
possibilities, right? I mean, you never think in those directions, and that's what Trideep does a lot of times. uh,
And
Nisha, of
wonderfully
course,
so.
Nisha, of course, does a lot on the content front, the writing, the word, right? And over to Nisha now.
Thank you, Anoop. So I'm really delighted what we are going to do today, and tech and creativity and content and some humor. That intersection. So this is what Click Brand and Beyond is all about. And Anoop, let's open the discussion. I think we have introduced ourselves. Our audience know us. Tridiv is such a welcome guest. Delighted that Tridiv is here. I am a student of Tridib myself and taking a class from him on generative AI, and I cannot tell you how much fun it is.
Yeah. So
Immense learning.
one thing, yeah, I think Trideep kind of left it out. He, other than his multiple different
Yeah.
companies and roles and partnerships and directorships that he holds, he also teaches one course on generative AI every month.
Yes.
Very comprehensive, very deep. Various aspects are covered, various tools are covered. I have attended the course a few months ago, and I can't recommend it enough. So
Yeah.
yeah, of
It
course, you.
actually does take your skills, also knowledge, on the next level. So, Tridev, I'm really glad I'm doing this. But my first question would be actually, Anup, is that it is mind blowing. So, what does this generative AI going to do to other, talented, creative people? Um, because it pretty much does everything else. It can do like right from visualization to the final output. The entire journey is complete with just one tool and one prompt. So, how does future look like to you?
To me, see, marketing, of course, it's been misunderstood forever, and we have spoken about it at length over the past
Yes.
1 year, I think now. The thing is, we need to be very careful about when we talk about marketing, we are talking about a whole universe of things.
Yes.
It's not limited to what is visible, which is mostly ads and creatives or WhatsApp messages and things like that. It's not just the written word. There's a lot of stuff that has to happen in the background. The foundation of marketing always is the bridge you build between your business and your target customer. If you do not understand who your target audience is, what underserved outcome you're fulfilling for them, you cannot sell.
Hmm.
It's very easy to say. For typically, the problem is people look at big companies, very big brands,
Yeah.
and try to copy or emulate them. But remember, even the big brand had this journey of starting from a garage or something and growing. You are at a you are not at that level. You are not at that scale yet. So you cannot copy them and try to do things. You have to think differently. So the marketing is always starts with understanding who your customer is and what need of that customer are you fulfilling. The need could be functional, could be emotional, could be status seeking, could be any of these things, right? Status signaling, right? Rather, right? So if you do not have a sharp understanding of it, you will falter in your marketing. And so I'll give you two sides of the coin, right? Two sides of the problem of marketing. One is B2C, where everything marketing related is thought to be advertising related.
Hmm.
Marketing
That's
is
true.
equal to advertising, B2C.
Advertising. Hmm.
Then you have B2B. Everything in marketing is equal to lead generation,
Yes.
right?
Sales.
The problem is the same, both ends. The problem is not able to articulate sharply who your target audience is. So the demand from the marketing team is very vague usually, right? Any company, if you work for a company, all the best. I don't know why you still are working with a company, but then if you're working with a company, for a company, and you're working as a marketer, the demand could be anything and everything from get me 100 leads to increase my sales in the Western Territory.
Hmm.
Broad demands.
Yeah.
But when you start, crunching this down and making it more objective, okay, I want to get 100 leads. What is a lead? Who is a lead? When will a lead be called a lead? Somebody filling a form on the website is a lead? Does it need to be attached to a purchase intent? What is the shape and size and territory and title and all these things of this person? So fundamental questions, right? That it's all part of the marketing tactical or planning stage, without which nothing moves forward.
Hmm.
The execution, usually we see execution, and there's a lot of emphasis on execution because marketing execution is very, very tricky. It is very fast paced too. By the time you do storyboarding, idea creation, production, putting things out, the market has moved on. For
So
example,
that is where the AI comes into the
correct,
picture now
right?
today.
So the
Yeah.
point is that right now AI, what it does is it really speeds this entire process up.
Hmm.
It can speed it up in the wrong direction too, which we'll talk about a little later. But then fundamentals are fundamentals, without which it doesn't work. I can give you so many examples, right? I mean, where it can fail and where it succeeds. For example, I think somebody called Bassi recently had it's a supposedly a stand-up comedian who started making fun of fairness creams for men,
Hmm.
and he even made fun of John Abraham and all that. So the and I think one of the teams, I forgot which, again, really don't remember these names, but one of these fairness creams or something, men's face cream, took it upon themselves to join in. They did not bash this fellow, they did not go against, they kind of jumped in. And it kind of, and they started producing memes and all this on top of it, how they kind of started ridiculing all the other companies and ads without naming anybody. And people started following them, and everybody started jumping in, and the comedian also started jumping into it, right? And finally the conclusion of it is he is in an ad along with John Abraham.
Right.
Both of them are
Yeah.
standing together and promoting this, right? So it was a moment in time that somebody noticed and took the initiative to move ahead with it. So because they understand that their customers, their target audience is um, very clued to that type of social media, right? It's
Hmm.
young men, right?
Hmm.
Between
Yeah.
the age of maybe 20 to 35 or something like that. And uh, so that understanding really let somebody jump in and do what was required,
Yeah.
right? So marketing, people's expectation is there's going to be some magic. It's not usually magical.
Hmm. It's a
It's
lot of
usually
magic.
serendipitous, accidental, right?
Hmm.
Or very well planned. There's nothing in
Yes.
between. There's no half
Yeah.
planned, half baked marketing which works. It doesn't work. It usually fails. And I
Yeah.
think Tridip can give us a lot of examples. But
Yes.
let me ask this question to Tridip, right? Tridip, now that you use a lot of AI in your creatives and everything, right? How has marketing briefs, the work that comes to you, or the way you address the market changed?
Very um, funny question you have asked. Why funny is that nowadays even the brief I get that is made with AI. Okay, so even the client side, the marketing head or the CMO is also not using his way of thinking of the problem, but it is trusting AI to generate a marketing brief for the agency part. Uh, the problem with it is that they are totally outsource their thought process to the bots. Okay, and that is the most scary part of the thing. Okay, which I always tell my students, my other clients and all these things, that you don't stop thinking. The moment you stop thinking, nothing will come creative, nothing will come new from this AI. Okay, the thing is that even Anup, you know that how much you have to train your AI day in day out, so that it starts understanding your type of requirement, okay.
Yeah.
So my type of requirement might be totally different than Nisha's type of requirement or your type of requirement, okay, or XYZ client's type of requirement, okay. So most of the time nowadays, which I am getting as a marketing need or an advertising need, is that we have created this storyboard from AI, you create a video out of it, or you we have done everything, we have done all the research, we feel that you have to create these tiny characters and you have to put our product in the middle and you do it. So the first response to this thing is that I say no, I don't take this type of work. The reason is that because I am not relating to the marketing outcome, which is very important. People are reducing the outcome to output. They are directing you to say that कि मैंने इतना तक कर दिया, बाकी तो execute कर दे. That is not should be the marketing. And the day if that comes as our reality, it is a very scary one. Okay, because um at one point of time I tell that the agencies don't are not lapping up AI in that way. Big creative houses are not taking up AI in that way. The reason is that they are also not clear that till what, till where, and till when they can actually do their work, and where AI can take up the work. Okay, so it is like a long short relay race. Okay, if the starter is not starting it in the great speed or in that format, the other relay, the when they are passing the hurdle to the next one, and when he is passing to it, every time there will be a fallback, there will be a fall where it will lose the tempo. Exactly, that is happening in today's world. At any point of the marketing things, where it, whether it is the brief coming from the client to the agency, and when it is uh, doing some part of it and giving it to some other small chunk of sub agencies or sub creative studios, everywhere it is like a Chinese whisper that is happening. Okay. uh, Initially used to happen in the years when we used to work, the whisper used to happen, but now it is happening more, because at the very point there is a flaw, because the client is not seeing his own requirement, not understanding his own requirement, totally generating his requirement through a bot, and again it is going the relay down the ladder. So what is happening at one point of time, one creative brain suddenly sparks up and say, "Boss, ये तो ठीक नहीं हो रहा है, ये requirement ही गलत है." So there, the entire bridge, the bridge that Anoop was telling, that bridge breaks. Then the sub creative studio also is not knowing what to do, and the agency also is fumbling to understand that where it is going wrong. So I think each place, each tipping point, each dots, everybody should understand that AI is not going to do the thinking for you. You have to think, you have to give your proper requirement, then AI can create the brief for you. But if you are totally, I want a ad for this thing, or I want a marketing campaign for these things, and you uh, please generate a brief that I can give to my agency, that is a wrong approach. Okay. So it starts from there. Okay, the failure starts from there. So AI is not to be blamed, believe me. And the best scary part from all these creative studio agencies middlemen is that AI is hearing you, AI is learning from you every step, whether you are doing something right or you are doing something wrong. Okay. And your AI will respond to the way you are training it. So every time you make mistake, AI is getting something wrong fed to it. It's simple, garbage in garbage out, as I always say. So that is the challenge which I think marketers are every time, every day I'm feeling the same thing. Big companies, small companies, middle companies, non-existing companies, everybody is becoming more functional. मैंने इतना कर दिया, अब ये करके दो. मैंने
Transactional. It's very
Yeah.
transactional, right? That is
ट्रांजेक्शनल, दिमाग नहीं चल रहा है. नो
Hmm.
वेयर पीपल आर थिंकिंग फ्रॉम द ब्रेन और हार्ट,
Yeah.
बिकॉज मार्केटिंग एंड एडवर्टाइजिंग इज मोर अबाउट हार्ट देन ब्रेन.
Yeah.
इधर तो दोनों ही नहीं चल रहा है. एंड
mm,
द
That's a very interesting point, actually,
and
Tridib, and it's a scary thing to. Yeah,
and
you finish your thought, and I'll.
and the basic problem is that now, which I and Anup many time creep among ourselves, is that people are seeing effects in, because we leave our
Mm.
say 60% 70% of the day scrolling through our Instagram reels or Facebook stories or LinkedIn posts. What is happening is that every time there are one tribe of people who are continuously telling that कि आप अभी ये चीज कर सकते हो इतना इजी आपके लिए, आप फर्स्ट थिंग आपका एजेंसी को निकाल दो, आपका एजेंसी का जरूरत नहीं है, आपका क्रिएटिव स्टूडियो का जरूरत नहीं, आप खुद कर सकते हो, आप आपका बिजनेस ऐसा बढ़ा सकते हो. ठीक है. द प्रॉब्लम इज दैट कि वी आर learning, we are learning a lot of stuff and a very quick speed. ठीक है. uh, you know, Nisha, we have already done I think
Yeah.
4 or 5 classes together.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And you have seen the speed at which you are learning, your brain is learning very fast now.
Yeah.
The thing what is happening currently is that we are not looking for a long term solution. What we are looking is a quick solution. आज मैंने देखा एक anamorphic uh, 3D display of Nike. I want to create it now.
Yes.
And now there is an open magic for that. I need not to learn anything. I just take a subscription of open magic. Open Magic has all this type of solutions. I will put my product and that 3D anamorphic model is done for me.
Hmm.
So my brain is not looking for a real solution. What my, if I am giving this type of output, what is my end target audience or end receiver is getting out of it? Because now what is happening, you are seeing this type of thing continuously, so there is a creative fatigue that is also happening not only to you but your end user. Every day they are seeing the same things, right?
Can give you a
Ab-
better example of Ghibli Studio that happened recently,
Oh,
right?
oh, yes.
You won't believe it, but on Instagram you see these ads for about a week when you are scrolling in Instagram, which I do, confession, right?
We all do.
And everybody does now. Uh, all the ads were Ghibli Studio,
Yes.
every single one of them. I'm like creative bankruptcy at some level, right? I mean,
Hmm.
Absolutely.
so the
And
thought
I
process
think,
was that AI has become creative. No, AI can
No.
copy
Repetitive
in,
and
styles.
yeah.
and what is the major problem is that, Nisha, people are becoming copycats.
Yes.
People are saying उसने गिबली किया, मैं भी गिबली नहीं करूंगा, तो देयर इज अ फोमो. ठीक है, फियर ऑफ मिसिंग आउट. ठीक है, clients are also having this FOMO. अच्छा ये गिबली किया है, why can't we use this thing, Tridi, why can't we use a ghibli style of this? मैं बोला तेरा प्रोडक्ट के साथ जाएगा ही नहीं. And why you want to take a ghibli
Hmm.
output? You can do thousand of other things. नहीं नहीं नहीं, मुझे लग रहा है कि ये टॉपिकल है. बस एक स्टाइल को चोरी करना टॉपिकल नहीं है. स्टाइल को चोरी करना, you can do much better stuff with AI.
Hmm.
Are we thinking about it? No.
No.
ठीक है. So are we, what Anup was continuously telling about the outcome, thinking of the bigger outcome, are we really thinking about it? आजकल रिएक्टिव हो गया. आज ये देखा, मेरा नेक्स्ट एड में ये होना चाहिए,
Hmm.
नहीं
So
तो
that,
मेरा.
yeah, that
या
actually brings to a very interesting point. You know, you've just said that marketing is about thinking from heart and not the. But the challenge and the limitation of AI, it doesn't have a heart yet. Maybe at some day, you know, it might just develop a consciousness, higher consciousness, but not today. So there is a lot of opportunity for creative people, for smart people who are able to master AI and make it work
exactly,
for them.
exactly. Because uh, what your brand essence, your brand ethos, that has to be taught to AI, because it is all about heart in that way. What's warmed your brand
But then,
builds. Huh.
so
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
Coming to the brand, see, brand ethos, branding, brand voice, tone of voice, color, lot of 99% of SMEs don't have it.
true.
Exactly,
Our kind of this entire podcast program, we focus on SMEs as far as
SMEs,
possible, right?
yes.
Smaller businesses. Many a times they are so constrained with their and they're so busy with their day-to-day running and survival, they don't have the time to think of a new logo, a color scheme, or any of that. That is the reason that they say, oh, that looks good, let's just copy that. Right? Many get, and see, creativity requires time, requires patience, requires that um, freedom to for the idea to stew, right? It is not something you can do instantaneously,
Yeah,
so you need to think through it. But these businesses are so busy, the bosses are so busy, they are juggling so many roles, they barely have time to think about it. And the worst part, because they don't have a lot of money either, they want to take shortcuts. They say, okay, if I give them the brief with the creative aspect already built in, I will be charged less, ignoring in the short term you are going to spend x, in the long term that will be a multiple 10x,
mm,
because it's going to go wrong, it's not going to give you any results, you will have to redo the entire thing, right? Taking that 2 3 days and going back to the core message that you want to actually convey, to whom you want to convey. If you are selling lubricant oils to large machine manufacturers, you should not be doing ghibli with the all, or
yes.
that Amul butter girl or something.
hmm,
That is not the
Yeah,
ethos at
yeah,
all,
absolutely.
right? Understand who you are targeting, understand what you are selling, understand what problem it solves. This is the match.
Yeah.
Marketing is all about this match, and taking this match and saying this again and again and again and again in different ways. There's no rocket science here. I'm trivializing a lot of things. I understand that,
Hmm.
but the bottom line is, if let's say Tridib, right, if he is selling a course on generative AI, teaching you how to create videos and images and ads and creatives using AI tools, right? That is what he's selling, and he's selling to anybody who's a small business or into marketing or into advertising or into video or any of that, right? I mean, all those
Yeah.
businesses. Now the market matches. I have done this, my company does this for years, I am a master at it, come and learn from me. If he has to sell the course better, and this is also picking on him because he doesn't sell it, he just invites people very generously. But then, if he has to sell this is the only message.
Hmm.
I have done this, look at my experience and expertise, come and join, I'll teach you my tricks and
Yeah.
my skills, right? That's it. Now, if you have to do this every single day, you cannot beat the same drum, right?
Yeah.
You have to change the tone. So, but
Absolutely.
it's the same message. The creativity is in conveying this message in different ways, making it
Absolutely.
attractive, making it fresh, making it memorable.
Yes.
All advertising, all marketing does only two things. One, makes an impression on your customer, makes you top of the mind when the time to purchase comes. If I go out there to purchase a car and your company is not even in my purview,
Hmm.
Hmm.
I'm never going to consider it for a
For
purchase.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Very simple, right? So I need to make an impression. So somewhere it is there. Second, when the customer is ready to purchase, I need to be in front of them. Yeah.
Hmm.
That's as simple as it gets. But the difficulty is you have competitors, you have noisy world. Again, the customer is not thinking about you or your product 24/7. Only you are. For them, it's a moment in a day when they are standing in the supermarket line.
Yes.
Right? So, how do we go about doing that? How do we ensure as marketers that we capture them at the moment of purchase? We make of an impression, enough trust, build enough artifacts in their brain that they associate us as a solution provider for their problem. Or if they are looking at entertainment, then we are the best entertainment. All these are problems, right? All these are needs. We'll talk about needs maybe in the next episode. Nisha, what do you
Mhm.
think?
See, I agree, Anup, and you have summed it up really well. So, yes, it is all about needs. But again, I'm coming back to the discussion and something that Tridev has said, which kind of really resonated. Also, Anup, connecting what you said, then if we are able to, if we have to capture that need, then we need to understand what that need really is, and how do we say it, the words that we use, the nomenclature, the expression, and then how do we integrate AI into capturing all of that, which brings us to how well we are training that AI, which also means how well we are understanding our target audience.
Uh,
Absolutely.
okay, let me just break that a little bit. Let
Hmm.
us say, see, training of the AI comes into play when you are using AI tools in their native interfaces,
Right.
right?
Hmm.
You're going to a mid journey or to a ideogram or to a chat GPT and using it inside that interface.
Yeah.
Let me give you my paradigm, because both of you know that I kind of take it out and use no code tools and coding tools, and
Yeah.
AI tools are being used in with their API,
Hmm.
which is the backend, which is basically hooking there to their server and the requirements and all that.
Yeah.
There is no scope of training the AI. I can do that. I mean, there's a procedure to that. It's called a RAG and all that, right? But that's different.
Hmm. Hmm.
All I'm saying is, I call the AI using an API, pass on a requirement, it gives me a
Output.
output. I'm
Hmm.
not training.
Yeah.
But if my input is garbage, my output is garbage,
Yes.
even if I use APIs.
Hmm.
That's what that going back to what Tridip said, right? Now, let us say the interfaces. See, typically it is never one AI, right? You put something in
Yeah.
Chat GPT, you get something, then you take it to
Take it to
another place,
Claude,
you
and yeah,
polish it.
yeah, yeah.
It's a workflow, right? It's
It's a
four or five
process.
different
Yeah.
tools are being used. Something. Let us say we just chain these tools together in a backend somewhere, right? I mean, each tool we are taking and we are just plugging them together, automate it. If my input at this end is garbage, then the entire automation is going to forward that garbage and give me really bad output.
Yes.
So we really have to think very, very hard about the input. For
And
example, something I
Hmm.
did with, I'll just give you a very simple example of the LinkedIn thing, automation thing that I did, right?
Hmm.
Took me 6 months to figure out what the input should be
Yeah.
so that it doesn't go wrong. With AI, the problem is sometimes it's way too creative. More than what you require, you also have to tell you what you don't need, right? But then coming back to the pyramid of marketing, same message repeatedly being told to the market, making an impression, being there when they want to purchase. That's all we are all trying to do at any point of time.
At any point of time. Yeah.
AI
And
just
apart,
speeds this up.
yes.
Yeah.
So Tridib, you was going to say something.
yeah,
What was it?
so for me, when I teach the AI part of the things to corporates or my college students, I give a very funny example. Okay, that for me, AI is like a kantabai of a family. Okay, why I relate it very well and everybody agrees to it is that it is a fantastic hit example in that way. Suppose you have come to a new city and you are starting up your family, and you have told the uh, security guard that
Kantabai.
ki,
Hmm.
is there any kantabais sort of people who can actually come and work in my place, because I have a very busy schedule, I have to go this thing. So one day this kantabai comes to your place and knocks at your door. She comes and you want to taste her whether she can do work for you, and you ask her to make tea for you. Okay, say, uh, can you make tea for me? What are the different ways things can go wrong? What are the different ways things can go wrong? First, she doesn't know your kitchen. Second, she doesn't know where the chai patti is, where the tea, where the sugar is, whether you take milk with tea or you don't take milk. Okay, so all these things. Second is that when she comes over here, whether she will just hand over the cup to you or she will come with a plate and on a tray and give the tea to you. Okay, AI is exactly your kantabai. Chat gpt ho, koi bhi ho, at this point of time you are personalizing your kantabai to your need. If your instructions or your training to the kantabai at any point of time is incorrect, then your kantabai will also give you wrong output.
Yeah.
She can do miserable things at many point of time. So it is very important to make the kantabai understand that कि मुझे ये चाहिए, मेरे को यही क्वालिटी का चाय चाहिए, मेरे को इतना गर्मी में चाय चाय चाहिए, मेरे को कोल्ड चाय बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं है, मेरे को हमेशा प्लेट के ऊपर कप डाल के दोगे एंड ट्रे करके लेके आ गया, ऐसे हाथ में कप नहीं देना है. चाय इधर होता है चाय पत्ती, एंड आई डोंट लाइक डीप टी. आई So there are so many parameters, and every parameter you have to train this uh, kantabai.
AI. Kantabai.
By the
Hmm.
way, everybody knows now that Tridib lives in Mumbai. Nobody has to guess.
But that is the basic way. That
Hmm.
is the way we should be training our chat
Yes.
gpts and all this. And believe me, the day you will forget how to make your own tea, then there is a problem. If the kantabai doesn't work, you fail that day.
That day. Hmm.
Yeah. So again, right? I mean, there's a lot of talk about AI being completely autonomous and doing the work by itself, etc. Right? And one of the first industry this was promised for was marketing. And I've been on this trip for about 3 4 years since AI, ChatGPT, whatever has come out. Right? The trouble is, it's not true. It's not true, and it's been so overhyped that the expectation is things happen like this.
That is true. I
Yeah.
yes.
Worse than that, it is becoming true of coding. of software industry is where a lot of this automation, I mean, if somebody is sitting and vibe coding, as they call it, right, they just speak and things are happening. Somebody coined the term vibe marketing also, but it's not autonomous. What is happening, I mean, just go to YouTube and search for vibe marketing. There's a company called the boring marketer which kind of coined the term, and they've been trying a lot of things, but every time they are sitting, they come with a very specific situation. I want to nurture my leads by giving them ebooks. Let us wipe market ebooks and find the people. So their entire planning has already happened. I can ask a question: how did you decide ebooks will work for your market? Who's your market? Where did they come from? Why ebooks? What is the top? All this they have decided upfront before even they start recording that YouTube video.
Hmm.
Anything for YouTube views, right?
Yeah.
It looks very cute, it looks very exciting, but that marketing did not happen out of the blue. Somebody actually thought and sat down and thought, okay, let me start a new campaign being something that has a start date and an end date. That's broadly, you can call that a campaign, right? A marketing campaign wherein I'm going to target customers to sell them this, whatever that this is. And in this, the way to attract their attention is by giving them a free ebook. I'll ask AI to generate that ebook, and I will capture people's email ID, etc., and send it to them, whatever, and grow my audience. Of course, they never show the results of this. The reason they never show the results of this is because it's in that moment they are just preparing the plan.
Yeah.
They are not running the campaign. They are not showing how much happened, because it will take 1, 2, 3 weeks. And I can tell you, in this situation, particular situation, what is going to happen is very interesting. You will generate an ebook using AI. You will generate a list of people using AI. You will pump up the this thing, and you will attract their attention. They will download the ebooks and whatnot. Then they will take the ebook and put it in an AI and summarize this and read it.
Yes. There
Okay.
was a meme which said exactly this, that the student generated a 4 page or 5 page report, 4,000 words report in AI, but the teacher said, "Oh my God, this is too much." And then she just did the same thing in AI to
Summarize
summarize.
it and read
Yeah,
it. Right.
it's a loop.
That's- yeah, it's a loop. Now, somebody, I mean, similar meme, right? When Google Gemini kind of started working inside Gmail, if you have a paid Google workspace,
Mm,
Google Gemini will write this thing for you. It will write 3 paragraph long emails,
yeah.
right? But at the other end, there is a Google Gemini sitting, because the other person also has Google workspace. At the
So
top,
they just,
it says, do you want me to summarize this email? So from my end, AI has written an email and sent to Nisha. At Nisha's end, AI is summarizing it and reading it into sentence. Instead of me sitting and writing the 2 sentences, now this whole loop has happened.
yeah.
Communication has happened. And Google Gemini is happy, or Google is happy. They have wasted a few more tokens and maybe got paid for it, right? That's
For, yeah.
pretty much it. But some of this sounds so ridiculous when you think
So
about it.
ridiculous. So Tridib, I
And
would just like to, what I will again come back to this creativity part, because honestly, marketing is about being creative. It is that intersection where psychology, sociology, and technology meet along with the culture. So then, if we are not training the AI properly, we are missing out. Honestly, we are missing out.
Absolutely.
And the danger also is that because AI is not trained, but then the way so many people are using it and they're training it, how do you see the future panning out for creative people, especially?
uh, very right question in today's world scenario. Okay, for me, fighting this creative, um what I would say, this creative juggernaut every day, what I feel that what I do currently, and which I am doing very seriously and knowing it consciously, that the way I say no to a particular thing, being creative is a lot of saying no to certain things rather doing certain things.
Mm,
For me, seeing, and it is not now, I have been trained into that way, even before when we started working with AI and all these things, is Creativity is not about copying. Okay, it's about absorbing certain thing and then giving a new leaf to that particular creative thought that suits your need. Okay, you might take, it is more like that same idea I always use for my benefit whenever I use that आलू इधर से जाएगा सोना इधर से निकलेगा. But that has a huge thought, that has a huge thought that आप आलू लेके आलू का चिप्स तो सभी निकाल सकते हैं, बट आलू को लेके कैसे उसको सोना जैसा कंस्ट्रक्टिव वर्क में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हो, दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ठीक है. So for me, creativity is not about if I see a lot of miniature people uh, creating a stew or say jalebis, and I will convert that jalebi to rabdi, and I will say yes, now I can create rabdi, I am a creative person. No, I might use that possibility. I will try to understand that ki what went inside to create. Pardon?
Do you just convert jalebi to rabdi?
No,
That will
we
be a
we
magic
will
trick I would
we
like
will
to see.
we will serve you jalebi with rabdi. Don't worry about it. Huh. We will serve you. Huh. I lost the thought. Thank you so much. Yeah. So for me, it is about understanding what went inside to create that particular scene. Not only that, is that how exactly I may be taking up that type of miniature animation, but where I will place in my client's required this thing, whether in totality or in some portion of it, maybe I might put where the person requires. Okay. So creativity is all about adapting, which many people don't understand. Creativity is not about creating everything new, but how you can adapt a particular thing to your client's requirement, not your requirement, your
Yeah,
client's requirement.
client's requirement.
Huh. So many times I ask my people, my students, that for whom you are creating this particular scene or this thing. That's a client के लिए बना रहे हो. Actually client के लिए भी नहीं बना रहे हो. You are making that interface for your clients end users, your clients end users, not your client. Client पैसा
Hmm.
दे रहा है इसीलिए आप user interface उसके लिए नहीं बना रहे हो.
Hmm.
Client is not going to use it. His end user, his or her end user will be using it. So are you doing the study of his or her end user?
End user. Yes.
Whenever you are doing a marketing study, are you doing the business viability, technology feasibility, and desirability? Are you understanding whether your this particular product or service that for which you are creating the marketing campaign has a market fit?
Pradeep, how do you solve the problem of client not giving you the right input? Because you earlier said, you're getting briefs written in chat
Hmm.
gpt, right? So the output also will be subpar because the
Subpar.
input itself is
Exactly.
subpar,
Yeah.
right? Do you
देखो,
even try to solve it, or
I
you let
I
it go?
try, I try, I try, and many times at this point of time, Anup, I will be totally open to you guys. At many times of the things, client don't like it. It there somewhere they feel that कि either मेरा चोरी पकड़ा गया, or they find it too egoistic to take that कि their brief is not proper. ठीक है,
Hmm.
मेरे को तो यही चाहिए, brief क्या और अलग क्या दूँ, sort of thing. ठीक है. Uh, the thing is that I talk it very politely and I reason with them that where the thing is not clear, what is not going to give them the outcome that they are expecting. But about I can say 30 to 35% it's a failure this thing, but 65% times I can convince my client that this is. And I'm really very क्या बोलूं, blessed to have those clients who are 65% understanding that the right brief is very important. You remember, Anup, 2 days back we were talking about one particular project where we thought of both working out. Okay, but it didn't happen because they were again pushing us to do a output of certain things without understanding what they wanted to achieve. That is the first thing. And when they don't understand that thing, that will be a problem where they will haggle you for their cost,
But
their
interesting,
timeline,
Hmm.
all these
interestingly
things.
enough, that project requirement actually gave me a very good idea. We'll talk about it later, of
Hmm.
course, right?
Uh,
Which I think will work wonders in the Indian market. There's
hmm.
huge potential for that.
Exactly, huge potential, and many people have already tried out that particular thing. Okay,
It's-
but that is a very important case study for us, that to understand that कि एक डील क्यों नहीं कन्वर्ट होता है, वाई अ डील डजंट गेट कन्वर्टेड. ठीक है, काफी फैक्टर होता है इसमें. एक फैक्टर क्लियरली होता है कि क्लाइंट को पता नहीं है कि क्लाइंट को चाहिए क्या एंड ऑफ द डे. एंड इट माइट बी अ केस दैट क्लाइंट को पता नहीं है, बट हुज रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी इज इट? It is the marketer's responsibility, it is the uh, agency's responsibility, it's the creative studio's responsibility to understand and
But
make
then it's
him
also,
that.
yeah, what
But
about
अभी क्या,
pricing?
uh, वो होता है, वो होता है. I have just posted a comic strip about a certain thing happened uh, a few days back, and I hilariously took it to
Oh,
myself, and
the logo thing,
the
right?
logo thing. ठीक है,
Uh-huh.
लोगों का, व्हाट इज लोगोस वर्क? लोगों का काम ही है कहना. ठीक है, कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे लोगों का काम है कहना. सो पीपल विल वांट लोगो. एंड दैट्स द वे इट विल बी. मेरे को लोगो चाहिए तो मेरे को लोगो चाहिए, तू मुझे कुछ भी समझा, मेरे को कुछ आता जाता नहीं है. मेरे पास 20,000 रुपया है, मैं एक लोगो बनाऊंगा, मेरा ब्रांड चेंज.
The
तो
history of
क्या करो.
logos is also interesting. Logo ka kaam hai kehna, right? What you said is very interesting because there's something called as a trademark, right? In the legal,
Hmm.
you're saying protection, right?
Parents.
Hmm.
Many a times people go and protect their name or their logos. The trademark is that this is mark of a particular trade,
Hmm.
right? So it started with the guild systems and all those other things. In India,
Hmm.
there were other
Hmm.
systems, but the mark is the mark of a particular quality, a standard from a particular place or community or group of people, right? That's what a mark started being. Older much much earlier than our legal systems. I'm talking about centuries ago, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
that's
Hmm.
the that's the origin of logos, right? This mark is known to stand for certain things. Sometimes it stood for scary things also, right? The robbers and all that. But then it's kind of went to US, right? Of course, everything had to
Hmm.
become very
Go to US.
capitalized
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And then the same concept started getting borrowed back into every place. Now, every business, before even the business starts, they want a logo. And I've had this discussion, and I'm sure Tridib also had this discussion, right? I ask them a very simple question nowadays. You don't exist yet. You have not started. You don't have a product in hand. You don't have a single customer. Who are you trying to impress with a logo? They say, no, 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 we'll become $100 billion
लोगो तो
company.
चाहिए, लोगो तो चाहिए.
Yeah.
No, in the future, we become $100 billion company, then nobody will remember. I'm like, you know, and that is the point. I know that these people are delusional. Most business people are. I mean, you have to be a little delusional to start a
Delusional
business,
to
even,
be.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But then the starting point of any business is word of mouth, as in
Hmm.
referrals. You get it from certain relationships and all that. People refer you clients, and you kind of start working. And at some point, you have a business card. Many people start with the business card, which is okay. Something should be there, and pretending to be bigger than you are. But I have been this through this journey, and I know that pretense doesn't get you anywhere. And logo and the amount of time and money I have personally burnt on logos and on business cards, on a website, etc. End of the day, none of that mattered. In fact, if you go to my website, it's not been updated for I think 3 or 5 years. I don't know the number. It's just there. It doesn't matter, right? I don't have a logo, a recognizable logo. There are people who have spoken to me for years. They have never seen me. The conversation always had been through WhatsApp groups or through Clubhouse earlier, or phone calls. They have never seen me. They have never met me.
Hmm.
It's the trust in the ability. What is the mark here? It's my name at the end of it. It's your name. It's your name, Nisha, right? I mean,
Hmm.
at the end of the day, the mark is your name. Many a times people confuse logos as the device through which people will remember something.
Yes.
It's not true at all. And the funny thing is, if you go to a conference, you may get at least 100 cards, right? What do you call them? Business cards.
Business cards, but
How
you
many of those
always
cards you
remember the
even look at a
people.
second time?
Yeah.
I have stopped printing business cards since around 2019 or something.
Hmm.
I go to these meetups. People ask me, "Do you have a business card?" I say, "No. Please give me your card. I will call you." Uh, and many a times I also give them my number. Right? How many times do you think I got a call back?
Hardly.
Zero.
Yeah.
But the same person, when you meet up in a one-on-one discussion, you have a very good conversation, and that kind of ends up in a business deal.
मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ, नेटवर्क मीटिंग ना एट वन पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम हैज बिकम अ कार्ड एक्सचेंज शिट शो. ठीक है,
Hmm.
आई कॉल इट दिस वन. मेरा कार्ड लो, आपका कार्ड दो, मेरा कार्ड लो, आपका कार्ड दो. इट इज लाइक दिस थिंग. एंड देन ऑल कार्ड करेक्ट करके बच्चे को दे दो, खेलो घर पे जाके.
Oh, I've done that, by the way. So the kid,
होता है,
I mean,
होता
give
है.
it to
आई
your
हैव
kid.
गिवन.
They love arranging. They
हाँ,
love
they,
playing.
now they use this as their credit cards. So they keep all those
Oh
cards
yeah,
in their wallet and
the
please.
kid.
Yes. तो ये
Right.
सब. हाँ. So believe me, visiting card never works. Okay,
Hmm.
never
Not
works in that
anymore.
way.
Not
Yeah,
anymore.
not anymore, not anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
another thing, right? I mean, both of you kind of alluded to it. Marketing, business, people, how they remember changes.
Yes.
The paradigm changes every few years. And if you're not keeping up with it, then you're falling behind. And when I say you're falling behind, for example, today's paradigm is fast. You had a concept of fast fashion, right?
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
mean, everybody caught up to it. That's why Zara is losing the market share, right? Everybody has caught up to what fast fashion is.
But
Every
now they're
two
coming
weeks.
back to slow. They're circling back in the slow
Um,
fashion now.
Gimmicky.
Intentional and
Gimmicky. The reason is simple, right? What is
hmm.
fast fashion? Fast fashion was from the runway to the store within 2 weeks, or
Yeah.
within 1 week or 10 days, or whatever your supply chain allowed you to do.
Hmm.
Every company caught up to that. From the runway to the store within 2 weeks.
Zudio
Zood,
is one of the
yeah,
biggest example now.
Zudio does it. Everybody is
Zoot,
starting to
yeah.
do this, right? Now, when your supply chain gets hit because of various trade embargoes, etc., you say it's slow fashion. But the truth is, once the cat is out of the bag, it's out of the bag.
And
So I call what the era we are in, this short 5 year period, next 5 year period that I call it fast marketing.
hmm.
The time period between the campaign timelines, right? Earlier, if it's a 3 month campaign, then you could spend 1 month on preparatory shooting, editing, etc., and then you run it for 2 months, TV ads and whatever you want to, right? Today, the timeline between conceptualization to production is a few days,
Days, exactly.
not even 1 week, thanks to AI and all these tools.
Yeah.
And your campaign's lifetime is maybe 2 weeks. So you are in the fast marketing era. 2 day within a day or two, come out with your campaign, run it. Second week, change it.
Because otherwise it will lose the fees,
Yeah,
it will lose the topicality.
yeah,
So
Hmm.
market situations,
yeah.
everything is getting changed nowadays. The editing is moving out from desktop to mobile.
Correct.
I
Yeah.
am seeing from every event the people are doing their editing right in the in the event venue itself, sending sending to the client for approval, and from there they're uploading. So it
Yeah.
has become that recent, that recent. So
Uh,
yeah,
n- I mean,
that's the
so
way.
technology tools is one part of it, right? I mean, so I think we have meandered a lot, but technology
Hmm.
tools is one part of it. But we also have to see the shift. I know companies which still are in the posters era. They want to print a poster for everything and distribute in the community. The problem is the community they live in is competitors. Everybody is
Hmm.
in business. None of them are customers. And I used to poo-poo them a lot. What idiots, man. Seriously, right? I mean, but these guys are the ones who have been doing the dhanda for 30, 40 years. They have built their bungalows and bought big cars and, educated their kids and all these things they have done, right? But they still indulge in this behavior.
Hmm.
A
Because
simple
that's
thing
what
I
they know.
understood,
Because that's
status
what they know.
signaling, no?
Hmm.
That there is an event, I am doing a huge event, right? I want to promote it in my community to show that I am somebody. It's a status signaling thing. Poster has got nothing to do with the event marketing itself.
Mhm.
I did not understand this for a while, right? But now that I have dug deeper, human behavior many a times is contrary to what is best for the business. As you said, sometimes ego tussles happen and customer is like, no, this is the right, I am right, I am correct. Agreed. Agreed, you are correct. What is the measure of this? Do you want me to take the ownership of the measure? If you are saying, please go ahead and run this ad campaign, let us assume so, right? And this ad should generate 1,000 inquiries. Am I responsible for the inquiries? Yes. Then I do not accept your creative. I am not responsible for the inquiries. I just have to create and give it to you. Fine. You say this, I will do it for you. I'm very Having that clarity is very important.
Yeah.
I have a client
And
who's
especially as an agency owner, Anoop, I
yeah,
think
yeah, yeah,
it's
absolutely.
priceless, and it's this advice is worth its
Yeah,
weight
yeah,
in gold.
absolutely. That who
Hmm.
will be bailing the cat? As simple
Yeah.
as that. Who is going to bail the cat? If I am stuck, if I cannot give you the right result that you are looking for, right output, you will be not giving me my money. End of the day, my performance marketing campaign might fail like anything. So who is going to take
So
the
again,
onus?
right, this terminology of performance marketing and all that, somehow some of this irritates me a lot, because again, as I said, we are in fast marketing now, right? So the concept of performance marketing, creative marketing, content marketing, all that is gone out of the window. Timeline of any kind of production is only 2 weeks. The lifetime of any kind of production is 2 weeks, nothing more than that. So given that, whether it performs or doesn't perform is up to you, right? Everything we do is performance, in the sense it performs in one way. So the metric around it has to be very clear, because I mean
I
tech.
I don't know ki if it is not performing marketing campaign, whether you will be doing that campaign or not.
Many times
because
people do it
because
because of ego,
because
right?
because the thing is that ki, why is the term performance marketing? I find it total shit. Because मैं campaign तो कर रहा हूँ performance के लिए ना, to
Hmm.
measure the performance के लिए ना, तो बाकी टाइम performance marketing छोड़ के फिर क्या है?
No, it's
So
also very industry dependent, right?
hmm.
See, in the D2C industry,
I, I,
direct to
I will I
consumer.
will give you one example. A very similar situation happened currently. We have some time with us.
Yeah. So
Uh,
we've got a couple of minutes, and then we'll have
uh,
to wrap this up. We're
so
closing.
so so this example I want to really give it to you. So there is one furniture company. Okay, uh, their US and Germany's collaboration. You can just cut the US and Germany part of the thing. So their collaboration company, they are into gym equipment. Huh? Very high end gym equipment for US and Germany's cost wise, it is not that very costly, but in Indian context it is extremely high cost. Matlab, it is like Apple level of gym equipments. वो slickness made of एकदम finest. I will not give the hint of the material that they are using. It might be a copyright thing. So those type of things they are using, and boss, they have the state of the art um, office in in the Sobo, and brilliant this thing. Okay, so they actually approached me from one of my friends friend and all these things, and they wanted to do performance marketing for me. They have already uh, checked into two or three agencies, and they immediately want to take up this job. So I told him very clearly, boss, your product is a extremely high cost product, where the users have to come and actually feel whether they have not seen this type of product. Performance marketing is not going to work for you. You can do performance marketing, but not for selling the product, to build awareness of the product, creating a differentiator, why this product is different from other products in the market, similar products in the market. And who are your target audience? Your targeted audience is not Aam Janta, for heaven's sake, because your price range of each gym equipment is 7 lakhs and up. So try to understand कि उसको क्या कहें. So I gave them different ideas कि store visit कैसे कराओगे, outreach कैसे कराओगे, फिटनेस enthusiast का meet कैसे कराओगे, उसको visit कैसे दोगे. So all these things. So performance marketing हर चीज के लिए नहीं है. That is what
Yeah,
Anup you were
that's what,
telling. Uh,
not just what I was saying,
बट
right?
वही बजवर्ड है ना भाई.
That's
दिस
what.
इज द बिगेस्ट प्रॉब्लम. एवरीबॉडी थिंक्स
See
दैट कि हर
now,
चीज में परफॉर्मेंस मार्केटिंग करेंगे. एंड देयर आर
everything.
एजेंसीज आल्सो, परफॉर्मेंस मार्केटिंग एजेंसी,
Yeah,
हर
yeah,
चीज
yeah,
में
yeah.
आपको गोली देगा कि परफॉर्मेंस मार्केटिंग कर दो.
If you think about it, right? Unlike 5 years ago, today about 90% of advertising marketing is happening digitally. Whether
Yeah.
it's on WhatsApp or online, doesn't matter, right? It's digital.
Hmm.
Medium has shifted from
Yeah,
TV and all that. TV and all that still works. I'm not saying it doesn't, but majority is digital. Given such a large amount going into digital, everything is performance because everything can be measured,
Measure now. Mm.
right? So the concept again, as I said, it's fast marketing. It's like fast fashion, it's fast marketing. You have 2 weeks. If you spend 5 days preparing your campaign, you only have 1 week to run the campaign, you're done. Move on. So the cycles are faster.
Much
Costs
faster.
are cheaper because you have
Mm.
AI and other things available. And the it cannot be a cascade decision making. You cannot have a CMO, then a
Yes.
VP, then some. By the time the
Mm.
conceptualization happens, 3 months have gone. It cannot work like that. We are not in the madmen era anymore, where
Yes,
six
we're not.
months and cigarettes and
Mm.
coffees could go on, and you could come up with a concept. No,
true.
2 weeks. Give the
It
decision
is now
making.
or never. It's
Yeah.
now or never. Forget
It's
it.
now and never.
So
Yeah.
you need a team of people that is integrated enough, who can go from market research, understanding, conceptualization to production within a couple of days, and push
Mm.
out the things wherever it is, right? For example, the gym equipment example you gave, Tridib, I have a disagreement there. And because I come from the strategic side of the
Hmm.
equation. Your target market is not fitness enthusiasts.
No, you have found there are three target market sector
Uh,
that we have already
yeah.
talked about.
So
The interior designers, those people are actually, because if you have seen the fitness equipments, you can actually plug it into the wall as designer unit. Nobody
so
will
your
know.
target market in India is this type of
Affluent.
equipment. This type of equipment is purely a status signaling equipment,
Mm.
Absolutely, absolutely.
and
And but you have to be a fitness enthusiast. नहीं तो इतना बड़ा यूनिट आप घर पे नहीं रखो. You have to
correct.
have
You
that
need to have some
disposable
kind of
area,
you
that
need
disposable area also,
yeah.
जहाँ आपने पूरा ये चीज को डालोगे. So
So
there are three.
affluent, disposable income, and some amount of fitness or desire for fitness or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
But anywho, I mean, again, right? We are getting deeper inside this.
hmm.
This will never end if we keep continuing. I think we should take a break, come back for another episode, give a break to the audience also, right?
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
we have so much material, right? Let's just figure it out how to put it
Yeah.
out for the next episode. Nisha,
Perfect.
closing thoughts.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Anoop and Tridib. It was wonderful and so many takeaways. And having conversation with people like you, so much experience and skill and expertise. And now that everybody is writing this AI, so many questions that need to be answered. And you guys have answered beautifully. I have such a big takeaway. But my biggest takeaway is the fact and the peace in knowing that the AI can, it has a brain, but it doesn't have a heart yet. So for creative people, that is still good news. And again, Anoop, as you keep saying, it's only a tool that is here to help us become better. And with everything that is happening around us, the way marketing is going, the immediacy of it, the shorter cycles, the attention span also decreasing. I think it's a wonderful opportunity for us to, as Naval Ravikant puts it, um, everybody can become an entrepreneur and a billionaire in their own right, because the way we are leveraging technology and the low barriers of entry into those leveraging um, te- into leveraging the technology is immense. We are living in unprecedented.
that is it for this episode. I'm Nisha Prakash. You can find me at LinkedIn and my website nishaprakash.com.
And I'm Anoop Kurup. You can find me at LinkedIn and my website, anoopkurup.com. We will see you in the next exciting episode of Click, Brand and Beyond.